What's gravy, baby? You already know who it is. It's your boy Trey. Follow the Trey where I never leave you astray, mine. And this is another Trey Talk Saints podcast, you know what I'm saying? Episode, whatever. You guys will see it in the thumbnail. But we going over week 2 of the 2025 through 2026 NFL season for your Saints as we lose to the San Francisco 49ers 21-26. For some reason, we just can't beat the goddamn 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the one team that I just feel like we have a very hard time beating. I don't even remember the last time we done beat the goddamn 49ers, bro. Because I think the last time Drew Brees played them, we lost to the 49ers. Like, if somebody can refresh my memory, when was the last time we beat the damn Niners? When was the last time? Just please let me know. Maybe it was sooner than I thought, but it feels like it's been a little minute since we beat the damn Niners. Either way, we're about to go over everything that we thought about this week's matchup. Good things, bad things, you know what I'm saying? Things the Saints need to improve on. And you guys remember what I talked about last video. What did I tell y'all? I told y'all, set your expectations accordingly, all right? I don't want y'all out here expecting this team to win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nah, y'all. Set your expectations. We all want the Saints to win. I want the Saints to win. I would love them to be winning every game. But I just know at the state of this roster, okay, that's not going to happen. It's just not, okay? They're just not a good enough team. All right? So set your expectations accordingly. And don't get yourself upset when the Saints lose these close games. Because I want to let y'all know it's going to be a lot of this. It's going to be a lot of close games where the Saints lose. Okay? It's going to be a lot. But that is not all a bad thing. That's also a good thing because guess what? The Saints are pretty much going through a soft rebuild right now. It's not 100% a rebuild because if they were fully rebuilding, AK wouldn't be on this team. Olave wouldn't be on this team. You know, DeMario Davis, you know, Justin Reid, you know, these type of guys, they would not be on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have tried to cut bait, save money, fully invest in nothing but young players, and they just would have got rid of everybody. So this is pretty much like a soft rebuild right now with the New Orleans Saints. So we all have to understand that it's going to be a lot of this. But the key is, are the Saints competitive? You hear me? Are the Saints competitive? That's the main thing y'all need to look at. Even though we don't got the best roster, even though we got a first-year head coach, even though we don't got that many playmakers, even though we got an old aging roster, you know what I'm saying? Even though all of that, are the Saints staying competitive? Are they competing? Are they close in these games? Or are they getting their ass blown out? Which one is it? And right now, through 2 weeks, the Saints have competed, and they've literally had a chance in both games with the offense having the ball, having a chance to go down and potentially win the game. That's pretty much been the synopsis of both of these games, is that they have had a chance to win, but they just couldn't do it. And you can say, A, that's because they're not clutch, A, because they're not finishing the game, but this also has an effect on the beginning of the game. If the Saints will start the games off better, they wouldn't be in this position. They keep finding themselves down on the scoreboard, and they have to try to fight back. But as you look at this roster, this isn't a team where you can depend on them to come back. That's not who the Saints are. The Saints can potentially win the game if they get off to a decent start, but not if they're down 10 points in the game and they got to try to claw their way back. That's just, no. The Saints aren't going to win any games coming from behind. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Unless they're playing a team in the same type of breath or a team that's just similar as them, they not about to be coming back winning games. You know, this team could potentially hold a lead, but I really don't see them coming back from being down. All right. So as we get into the stats, we're about to go over the offensive side of the ball. Spencer Rattler, shout out Big Spence. He had the best game of his career. I believe out of his whole career, when you think top to bottom, start to finish, he pretty much had the best game of his career. The first couple of drives, few drives kind of stalled out. It was a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Spencer Rattler, the first couple of drives. But after that, pretty much, I would say from the second quarter, or from like the second quarter or the middle of the second quarter, you know what, F it, bro. I go ahead and give him from the second quarter all the way to the fourth quarter. I believe Spencer Rattler played an even keeled. He played a very good game. You know what I'm saying? The most consistent game he's had as a pro. 207 yards, 25 for 34, a pretty good completion percentage. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. He took 3 sacks? But listen, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. You'll take that all day. 25 and 34? You take that all day. Broke 200 yards? You'll take it. Very good game by Spencer Rattler. And a lot of the plays you seen him make, you saw him make some scrambles, getting some tough yards, trying to get a first down for the Saints. You saw him break out the pocket and try to deliver some good balls to his receivers. Know what I'm saying? Extending plays. You seen Spencer Rattler do all that. Sitting in a pocket, making some dots, throwing some dots, some on the money balls. He did miss some easy passes, but he also had some drops as well. It's a couple passes here or there where you can see the ball kind of got away from him. You're like, come on now, Spencer. Rather, the dude was right there. You got to drop that in there, But then he had some passes like, damn, he made that throw. That boy got an arm on him. That boy got some accuracy on him. You know what I'm saying? You saw some poise in the pocket. When he had to step up, he stepped up. When he had to step out, he stepped out. When he had to go on a run, he went on a run. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty decisive in his decisions today, and you love to see that from Spencer Rattler. Once again, he had some drops. Your receivers got to help you out, dog. You got to help you out. And we'll talk about those drops soon. But Spencer Rattler, very, 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 very good game. I liked what I saw. The question was, last game was, pretty decent. I wouldn't say it was like good or great, but the first game of the season was decent. He had a decent game. Like, okay, Spencer Rattler didn't play that bad. He was all right. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those games. So we was trying to see, can Spencer Rattler build off of last game's momentum of having a decent game? And he did that. He came out of this game and had a better game than last week. So now the next step is, you're going against a Seattle Seahawks team next week that I believe the 49ers are actually better than. They're better coached than. So Spencer Rattler, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they do got some playmakers over there. They got Woolen and Bryant, the 2 corners over there. They got some pieces here or there. But I do believe that, offensively, the Saints can do some things that could potentially, give them a favorable game against the Seahawks. Because I know a lot of people go say, oh, bro, they didn't have Brock Purdy. Oh, bro, Juwan Jennings was banged up. You see how he tried his best and fought his way to play this goddamn game. I saw Juwan Jennings limping up the goddamn sidelines, limping in the game. I just was watching like, bro, this dude's out here literally limping. He's out there literally hurt, and he made his way. He had to find a way to play against the Saints. I mean, Juwan Jennings wasn't a big factor, but he had one, game-breaking touchdown. He did do that. He did have one game-breaking touchdown where P. Warner, for some reason, just stopped when the guy was behind him. He just stopped, came down, instead of kept retreating backwards in his zone. He stepped down for some odd reason, let Juwan Jennings get right behind him, clear behind him, catch the ball, touchdown. If P. Warner would have literally kept backpedaling about 5 more yards, that could have easily been a swat or an interception. But for some reason, P. Warner decided to stop where he was and just let Juwan Jennings get behind him. Whatever, fam. whatever. You know, we'll get into the defense a little bit later. But nonetheless, yeah, Jauan Jennings, he tried his hardest to come out there and play. But nonetheless, you know, when it comes to that, when it comes to, you know, these players getting injured and things of that nature, you have to put things into perspective. Yes, most of that's the offensive side of the ball. Jauan Jennings is banged up. No Brock Purdy. No George Kittle. He hurt. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Who else out? You know, Ayuk still out. You know what I'm saying? So you look at that and you're like, damn, the Saints should win, right? But think about the offensive side of the ball. I mean, the defensive. The defense is pretty much healthy for the most part. You hear me? Like the 49ers defense was pretty much fully healthy for the most part. You know? So they got winners out there going sideline to sideline. Looking like goddamn Luke Kuechly out there. You know? They still got Nick Bosa on that line. Or whoever else that got on that damn line. You know? So when you think about that, offensively, they held their own against that. And you know who they're coached by, Robert Saleh. You know, he's back as the defensive coach or the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. And he's obviously, you know, he's top 3, maybe not 3 or 2 best defensive coordinators in the league. So when I go to say that, to say Spencer Rattler held his own, he played good against a good defense with a great defense coordinator. And I believe he can definitely rebuild off of that or build off of that against the Seahawks. We shall see. Can he keep improving? Next week, can we see like a 250-yard game with 2 or 3 touchdowns, no interceptions? You know what I'm saying? And maybe only miss about 5 or 6 throws. Like, can we see a real good game like that come out of him? That's what we'll be taking a look at. As far as the rushing goes, shout out AK. AK had a very, very good game. 100 yards rushing. I don't know why it says 99. He did have 100. I guess maybe they took some away from him. I don't know. But nonetheless, you know, 100 yards rushing on 21 carries for AK. Had a very good game in terms of rushing. They made sure he touched the ball this game way more, which, you know, was an emphasis because he only touched the ball 13 times last week. And I talked about that last week. And I said, bro, if Alvin Kamara is your best playmaker on the goddamn team, there's no way he can only touch the ball 13 times or how many times he touched it. I think he ran the ball like 10 times. So I'm like, nah, fam. Like he has to have the ball way more. And as you can see, the uptick in his carries with 21 carries, that's a good day at the office. 5 yards per carry, pretty good. You know, it felt like he was always one tackle away or one broken tackle away from breaking off a big run. You know, he had some pretty big runs here or there, 15 yarders, 10, 11 yarders, you know what I'm saying? But it felt like he was one break tackle away from hitting like a 30, 40 yard run. But they got goddamn Fred Warner out there tracking him down, you know what I'm saying? Tracking him down like a goddamn hawk. You know, that dude right there is a beast, you know, and to go into that fumble that AK had, honestly, that's just a hell of a play, or that should have been an incompletion. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that play right there. Was that an incompletion, or should that have been really called a fumble? Because it was hard to see if his shins were down. It was very hard to see if his shins were down because the defender that had him down low had his whole legs wrapped up. So you really couldn't see if his shins were down or not as the ball came out of his hand. It's a few things you can look at with that play. One, Spencer Rattler threw the ball behind him. So if the ball was never thrown behind him, AK wouldn't have had to reach back with one hand and have the ball pinned against his damn helmet. And if you have the ball pinned against your helmet, obviously you're not going to have very good control of it. So all it took was for Fred Warner just to come out as AK was going to the ground. All Fred Warner had to do was just put his whole upper body on the football, and that thing was going to come out. So that was just a very unfortunate play. I'm not gonna sit here and bash AK like, bro, you can't fumble the ball like that, bro. Like, damn, AK, you gotta do better, man. Like, come on, you're the leader of the team. I'm not gonna go like that on AK because he had a good game. That fumble was costly, but a lot of contributing factors counted to that fumble that I can pretty much give some leniency on AK. It's not like he just had the ball and he just fumbled it. He had complete possession of it, because honestly, if you're saying he had complete possession of the ball when the ball was still kind of moving, when he first got the ball on his helmet, it was still moving. He got tackled. They say he took some steps, but that was in the process of him getting tackled. So it's just like, it's a lot of stupid stuff that goes into that rule. Does he have possession? Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? Did he make a ball carrier move? Whatever the case is, it's a lot of stuff that goes into that, bro. But me, honestly, I just would have said that was an incomplete catch. It was just a very awkward play, a very awkward catch. And I just would have gave AK the benefit of the doubt. But hey, I'm biased. I'm a Saints fan, so of course I would have said that. But how many times have things went in our favor in that type of way? I just want y'all to let me know. When has something just went in our favor? We're like, damn, hey, the refs helped us out right there, bro. Thank you, refs. Thank you very much, refs. It don't happen often at all, guys. It usually goes the other way. We don't get the benefit of the doubt a lot. So, if we would have got the benefit of the doubt right there, and they just would have went on and said, hey, bro, incomplete pass, hey, it would have been a whole different game, because guess what? We was marching down the field, getting close to field goal range. And after that fumble happened, the 49ers went down and scored. So that completely changed the game. But shout out AK, very good game. As we go on to receiving here, Chris Olave, pretty much the same as last week, 50-something yards. Rashid Shaheed had an uptick in his involvement this week with 52 yards. Juwan Johnson, another strong game with 49. But Juwan Johnson, you got to stop dropping the goddamn ball, dog. You got to. You just got to. Those easy catches when you're running a hitch route and you turn around, the ball right there, go straight through your hands. Stop it, fam. Stop it. Other routes when, Spencer Rattler trying to make something out of nothing and you right there for him as an outlet and you just let it go through your hands again. Stop it, fam. Stop it. Just stop dropping the damn ball, dog. Keep your eyes on the ball. That's the main thing. You got to see it all the way through. Look at me talking like I'm a coach. Hey, bruh. Look the ball all the way through, fam. I think it's just mainly a lack of concentration. I know you can catch the damn ball. I think it's just concentration. Look the ball all the way through. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about the guy coming down trying to tackle you. Look at that ball. Stare at that motherfucking ball. Look at it. Look at it like it's your girl butt naked, just got out the shower, and you're like, damn, oh yeah, it's about that time, baby. You know what I'm saying? I want you to look at the ball like that. Just stare at that thing. And once it gets into your hands, keep looking at the ball. Keep staring at it. Tuck it away in your tummy. And then do what you gotta do. I go to a play with Chris Olave. If you guys remember the catch Chris Olave made when he went up over that dude, he caught that ball at the high point. He got up in the air, caught the ball. As soon as the ball, I saw him. He looked the ball all the way in, all the way through. He looked at that ball. He tucked it in. As soon as he caught it at the apex, as soon as he got into his hand, he tucked that damn ball into his stomach. So the defender had no chance because the defender tried to swat the ball. He tried to swat the ball down, but he couldn't. Because Olave, as soon as the ball touched his hands, he tucked it into his stomach. So there was no way he was going to drop that damn ball. Take notes, Juwan Johnson. Take notes. We saw a touchdown for Vele. Shout out Vele. Hopefully he keeps getting more and more involved as the weeks go. Just one reception, 3 yards, but it was a slant, a touchdown. So, hey, good stuff from Vele. He is the biggest receiver that we have. He's like 6'3". So in the red zone, we should always see him in the red zone. When we're in the red zone, he should always be a factor. You should see Vele lined up there somewhere in the red zone. All right, got it, coaches. Good. So shout out Vele. He got him a touchdown. First touchdown as a Saint. We need to see more of his involvement. I'm waiting on Troy Palmer. I don't know if Palmer is healthy or not, but we should see him coming soon. Brandon Cooks 2 for 26. Hey, Brandon Cooks, this point, he's just a guy that you throw in, and if he gets open, hey, he did catch a real nice catch. He caught crossing the middle of the field. It was a contested catch. So hey, good stuff by Brandon Cooks right there. But he's not going to be a crazy involvement in this offense, I don't think. He's just going to be a guy that you could depend on to catch a couple or a few balls here or there. But I do see if Palmer comes back good and healthy, he will likely probably take, I don't know, he might end up taking all the snaps from Brandon Cooks. If Palmer comes out, he's younger. You know what I'm saying? He does have good speed on him. So we go see how that works out when he gets healthy. AK, 6 for 21. A lot of those are just dump off passes. He could have had another dump off pass that Spencer Rattler missed. Spencer Rattler tried to fit a ball in a tight window. It looked like it was cover 2 because the corner kept bagging up, and there was a little soft spot in between the corner and the safety. I forgot who the receiver was. I think it was Olave. He was right there. I think he ran like a corner route, and he was in a little space, and Rattler tried to, he tried to throw the ball in there. He tried to fit it in there, but the corner jumped up and swatted the ball. But AK was underneath with about 10 yards of space in front of him. And one thing with AK, in space, he gonna make something shake. And that was on third down as well. So that easy dub off the AK right there could have easily gave AK probably another 10, 15, who knows, 20, 30 more yards receiving. So little stuff like that, Spencer Rattler got to make sure to take a look at. Sometimes it's just make the easy throw, fam. Sometimes make the easier throw. Take your check down. I know he was trying to make a bigger play, but in cases like that, he got to be a little bit more surgical. A little bit more surgical. He ain't at that level yet. Like that Drew Brees surgical. Drew Brees would have saw that cornerback bagging up. He would have saw AK with about 10 yards ahead of him. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, get that AK. Go ahead, pick up that first down for us real quick, baby. Go ahead and do that right quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's just called being surgical with it. So that's pretty much that for the receiving, the rushing, the passing. Let me know what you guys think about all that when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. What do you guys think? Let me know, bro. Next up, I do want to show this while we're talking about offense. This is stats that I saw from Saints Muse on X. Shout out Saints Muse. Spencer Rattler stats. Look at it. 65% completion percentage. 421 yards on the season. 3 pass TDs on the season. 0 interceptions on the season. 57.8 QBR. That's Spencer Rattler stats, guys. Let's go down. Caleb Williams stats. 61.5 completion percentage. Rattler's is better. 417 yards. Rattler has a little more. 3 pass TDs. They're both the same. 1 interception. Spencer Rattler has no interceptions. 56.2 QBR. Spencer Rattler is higher. So guess what, guys? As a 5th round pick right now in this point of the season, with the weapons that Spencer Rattler has, because trust me, Caleb Williams has better receivers and tight ends. Believe that. He has 2 very good tight ends at that. So start out there. He has 2 good tight ends. Komet and it was another guy they drafted, bro. I forgot that dude damn name. But Komet and whoever the other guy is, they have 2 good tight ends. Loveland, yeah. Colston Loveland or Colton Loveland. He has 2 good tight ends. He has DJ Moore. He has Rome Odunze. Okay? Who was it, like Zacchaeus or something? I just know he has better weapons than what the Saints has. And Spencer Rattler numbers are better right now. So this is one thing we got to go farther in the season. I don't want to get too much on the Spencer Rattler hype train saying he's the next quarterback for the Saints, yada, yada, yada. He's the franchise quarterback. I don't want to go there just yet. But I will say this. If Spencer Rattler continues to do what he is doing, you can make the argument that, hey, Spencer Rattler can be a real good game manager. He could be a game manager. He could be one of those quarterbacks where, hey, you know, he has a very good team. Like, he has a very good team in terms of, like, he has good playmakers. If he had a receiver that could consistently get around 100 yards receiving, you know what I'm saying? If he had a tight end that can consistently be a security blanket for him and consistently make the catches he needs to make, you know what I'm saying? If he had that, you know, if Rattler had that, and you can make the assumption that, hey, he can probably win these guys a good amount of games. If he had a better right guard, a better left guard, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that on the team. You can make the case, fam, that Spencer Rattler can be out here winning more games. So, and you might be like, what about Chris Olave? He's not a number one trade. Hey, listen, fam. Chris Olave, I just don't think so, guys. At this point in time, and Chris Olave, with his injury history, you see him giving up on more plays. You know, he's not willing to take hits like that anymore. You can see the man is terrified of getting hit, fam. He is terrified. He just needs to wear one of them things on his head, bro. One of them little concussion caps. Bro, just put it on and wear it, fam. Just wear it. Just wear it. But you can tell Olave is just very fragile, man. He has a very fragile body. He's very slender. You know, he's just fragile. And your number one wide receiver, he just can't be that way. He can't be built like that, fam. I'm sorry. He can't be built like that. So at this point, I think Olave is right there at, like, he's a really good, like, probably like the best number two you can have on a team as far as the receivers go. But he can be a number one. But he is very low tier number one. That's where I'm at right now with Chris Olave. He is low tier number one, or he's right there at the best number two you can have. He's right there in terms of receiver. Let me know what you guys think about that with Chris Olave. So don't sleep on Spencer Rattler now. Don't sleep on him. We go see what Spencer Rattler rocking with. You heard me? We go see. We go see if we keep it going. Defensive side of the ball. So now, when I think about this defense, number one, you played against Mac Jones. Mac Jones was out there dotting them up. He was just dotting them up, fam. I guess a couple plays here or there where I'm like, okay, he threw a questionable pass that Justin Reid, if he was a little bit earlier, probably could have pick-sixed it. Probably could have pick-sixed it if Justin Reid was a little bit earlier. But it ended up just being a broken up pass. What else? There was another one where he actually threw a pass, you know, the one I'm talking about where he threw it behind Pete Werner. Juwan Jennings was on a crossing route, ran and crossed behind Pete Werner. Pete Werner was supposed to keep dropping back in the zone. If he would have kept dropping back in the zone, that's another potential pick. You know what I'm saying? But Pete Werner stopped. He bit down for some reason and let Juwan Jennings clear behind him and touchdown. So, hey, listen, Mac Jones is a serviceable QB. I'm not going to sit here and act like Mac Jones is just trash. Me, this game personally, I thought the defense would play better because, hey, Mac Jones in his career, the Saints have usually done a really good job with him. But, hey, listen, Mac Jones diced their ass up today. It is what it is. For this game right here, if I just had to blame anybody in this game for why we lost, it's going to the defense and the DBs. Not necessarily the D-line. I feel like the D-line had a few plays here or there where they couldn't get pressure, but for the most part, I think the D-line did decent enough at making Mac Jones kind of uncomfortable. I just believe that the DBs did not do their part, was sticking with their man and, not allowing Mac Jones to throw the ball right at him and let the receivers, make tough catches or whatever the case is. I feel like the DBs were just a step behind today. You know what I'm saying? But, Demario Davis, good game, of course. Led the team in tackles, of course. Jonas Sanker actually, was second on the board with tackles. So, good to see Jonas Sanker out there getting some reps. It looked like, as far as he goes, when I watched him, he was around the ball making some decent plays here or there, but he didn't, play outstanding or anything. But it does look like they went with Jonas Sanker over, the other safety, Jordan Howden. They went with Jonas Sanker. So it was good to see him get some, play time with Blackman being out. So we go see, will Sanker keep improving? Can he be that safety that we think he can be? Because in the offseason, during the preseason, during training camp, we saw that Jonas Sanker was out there making plays. He was making plays out there, dog. So we will see. Can he keep it up? Isaac Yiadom, this dude right here was stir fry. He was stir fry, bro. Yiadom, if you keep playing like this, boy, you got to get your ass up off this team, fam. Hey, this dude Yiadom was getting dealt with. Every third down, it looked like he was the one. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. Like, bro, if I had to complain about one thing on this defense, is they give up way too many third downs. Way too many, fam. So Brandon Staley, you got to figure out something with the play calling on 3rd down. Get more aggressive if you got to. If you got to send more pressure, if you got to send more heat. Because when you think about it, on 3rd and long, the quarterback doesn't need to have time to sit there and make a read. You need to send a blitz that's going to get through. You need to send something that's going to get through, that's going to rush the quarterback to either checking it down or throwing an ill-advised pass or hold on to the ball and get their ass sacked. That's what you need to do when it comes to 3rd down, bro. But don't sit there and have them, trying to have all day in the pocket throwing a dot on you on 3rd down now. Because it was way too many plays. Way too many plays I sat there and saw on 3rd downs. They keep getting more and more conversions. So Yiadom was the big contributor with that. He was getting picked on. It's like every time the 49ers needed a play, every time the 49ers was like, dog, we need to have this play right here. We got to have it, fam. Like there's no choice. We got to make a play right here. Every single time they went to the boy Yiadom, man. They went to him. You know what I'm saying? So definitely need to see better out of him. And if he does not play better, let's say the next game, he is still looking like that, then Quincy Riley, this boy right here, Mr. Quincy Riley, he needs to get the PT. All right? He needs to get the play time. Once again, if Isaac Yiadom is out there struggling again, who knows? They may make the move. They may make the move come the game against the Seahawks. Because the Seahawks quarterback is, what's the boy name? I always forget his name, man. He was over there playing with Minnesota, had a good season with Minnesota, and ended up leaving. And now he's with the Seahawks. Oh, my Lord. I got to think of this dude's name, man. Hold on, he played for the Seahawks right now. Now I got to go check and look before I get pissed off and Sam Darnold. Yeah. So Sam Darnold, hey, he's a quarterback that'll give you some balls now. He had 2 interceptions against the Steelers. So, listen, he is a quarterback that will give you the ball. He will give you a chance, fam. Trust me, he will give you a chance. So, if Yiadom doesn't have a better game, then listen. Quincy Riley, this dude right here, from what we saw out of him as well, him and Jonas Sanker were like the 2 DBs that really showed out during the preseason, and training camp. Quincy Riley needs to have an opportunity. If the Saints are trying to get younger, he needs to have an opportunity to go out there and play alongside Kool-Aid McKinstry, 2 young quarterbacks, and who knows, we may have our 2 young quarterbacks of the future with Quincy Riley and Kool-Aid McKinstry. Who knows, bro? We ain't gonna know until we put him out there, fam. So Yadam, keep it up, fam. Quincy Riley right there waiting. He right there waiting for your spot, playboy. So we go see about that. Any other things I think about the defense? Nothing too much. Carl Granderson. Yeah, let me give a shout out. The best players on the field that I saw this week. 2 sacks from Mr. Carl Granderson. Shout out to him. Carl Granderson, very good game. If there was anybody that I'm just like, hey, he stood out. He stood out on defense. It was Carl Granderson. He stood out, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was hounding Mac Jones. He was around the ball in the running game. You know, he was around the ball when they tried to do like a reverse play, a jet sweep play. He was right there breaking that up. You know, hey, Alontae Taylor, I give him some credit too. Alontae Taylor had a good game as well. He did get beat on a touchdown, unfortunately. Lost the dude in the back of the end zone. Christian McCaffrey, it was some bad communication from him in the corner. Christian McCaffrey snuck to the back of the end zone because Alontae Taylor bit down on the underneath route, but the underneath route was took by the corner. All Alontae had to do was keep backpedaling up, but he did not. So he did give up a touchdown, but he had some good plays. Had a good pass breakup I saw. He had a couple good tackles, solo tackles I saw him make. So, hey, Alontae Taylor, Carl Granderson, if I had to say on defense who were the top players, I would go with them two. Alontae Taylor and Carl Granderson. Justin Reid made a couple good plays too. Pete Werner made some good plays too. Honestly, those 4 right there was the best on defense. Pete Werner just had a bad second half. You know what I'm saying? But Carl Granderson, Alontae Taylor, Justin Reid, Pete Werner, of course, Demario Davis, made a really big impact on the defense today. And shout out Jonas Senker too. Those are some notable names on defense that stood out to me. I need to see more of the Brian Rizzie. He got to be a little better. I need to feel his impact more. I don't feel Brian Rizzie's impact enough. It's like he has like 2 or 3 really good plays a game, but then you don't really hear much more out of him the rest of the game. So I need Brian Rizzie to be a player where we can count on every game to go out there and make 5 or 6 good plays a game, not just 2 or 3. So that's what I feel about that. Keep an eye on Quincy Riley. We might be seeing him real soon, guys. Cam Jordan didn't do much today at all. He was out there getting cardio. But hey, Cam Jordan, that's my old guy right there. He an OG right now. So some games he gonna be out there doing good. Some games he ain't gonna do much. It is what it is, bro. No Cam Jordan slander, though. No Cam Jordan slander. Jordan slander. We did see what's his name out there, too. I want to bring that up. They brought back Fadil Diggs, and we did see him out there. He did have a penalty with hands to the face, but he did get a snap. I think that was the only play. I think he got pulled after that. But we're starting to see other guys switching in and out the lineup. Vernon Broughton, Chris Rumpf, Nathan Shepard. Like, we're starting to see more and more guys switch out on this D-line because we know the top guy is still out. He should be back against the Seahawks. We should see Chase Young for the Seahawks. They gave him 2 weeks to, get back healthy. I think he should be back. Oh, yeah, and before we move on, I want to give a shout-out to old boy on offense right quick. The number 1 pick, Mr. Banks, Kelvin Banks, left tackle, hell of a player already, bro. He already looking like he gonna be. He's going to be the left tackle of the future. He's going to be a potential Pro Bowl. That's what I'm seeing out of Kelvin Banks. Him against Nick Bosa, he held Nick Bosa in check all game pretty much, except for like 1 play. Maybe 1 or 2 plays. But Kelvin Banks was out there balling. Shout out to him holding his own against one of the best pass rushers in the damn league. And shout out to Fuaga too. Fuaga had a very good game as well. He's just not healthy. You could tell he has a little problem with the knee. He doesn't look like he's moving as good, because especially on that last play where he gave up that sack, dude went right around him. And you could tell that's because he wasn't able to backpedal fast enough to stop the guy. He couldn't get into his backpedal fast enough, fam. So Fuaga, if you gotta sit out, fam, sit out. We not going nowhere this year, dog. We ain't doing nothing special, fam. Trust me. So if you got to get out, if y'all got to put him on the bench to get him healthy, bro, put Fuaga on the bench because he can also be our actual future right tackle as well. We should have our left tackle and right tackle of the future with those two guys. So let's not mess up his knees now, guys. Put him on the bench if you got to get on the bench, goddammit. So now, as we go to the full stats of the team, you will see with these guys, you look at the first downs. You know, they got more passing first downs or whatever. We got one more rushing first downs. First downs for penalties tied up at 3-3. All right, whatever. Third down efficiency. What I tell y'all, 8 for 15. These guys had 8 third down conversions, fam. 8. Y'all got to do better with that, bro. That third down conversions, that is a lot. To convert 8 out of 15, that's a lot, fam. That's a lot. You got to get better at getting off the field, man. You got to get better at getting off the field. You know, total plays about the same. Total yards, they had about, about 40 more, close to that, 30 some more. Total drives, same amount of drives. You know, yards per play, they had a little bit more. They had a little bit more passing yards. You know, Mac Jones was out there doing his thing. Interceptions thrown, no interceptions. I do feel like Mac Jones put the ball in harm's way more than what Spencer Rattler did. Mac Jones could have easily had 2 interceptions, if our players just, made better play, like made 1 or 2 second decisions that kept it away from being a pick. So Mac Jones could have had more picks. Sacks and yards lost, same amount of sacks. They gave up 3, we gave up 3, but we lost 21 yards and they lost 12 yards. Rushing, we ran the ball better. So I will give the defense credit right there. They did good in the run game. Not letting Christian McCaffrey or Garendo go off. They held them dudes under 100 yards rushing. So good job for the Saints run game. That was good to see. Red zone. The Saints actually had good red zone offense today. I will give them credit where credit is due. I complained about the red zone last week. They went 3 for 3 this go around. They got to the red zone and they converted all the red zone trips into, guess what? Touchdowns. 3 touchdowns by Spencer Rattler in the red zone. So that was good. Good red zone offense, more than not, can help you win games. So, good job from the Saints for putting 3 touchdowns on the board because, scoring the goddamn ball has been an issue for the Saints. And they actually put up 3 touchdowns, 21 points. They got over 20 points, guys. Good job, guys. You know what I'm saying? Am I being sarcastic? Maybe a little bit. Let's keep going. Penalties got to be better. 7 for 45. But, the 49ers was 5 for 40. So that was about the same. But they got to get better. It's the pre-snap penalties. We're not having a lot of, defensive holdings, or we're not having a lot of pass interferences. It's a lot of false starts. It's a lot of illegal shifts. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the illegal hands to the face. Illegal man downfield. It's a lot of the real stupid, boneheaded penalties that we're having. So let's just stop having those, okay? A lot of those easy penalties you can stay away from, dog. We got to stay away from those. Let's get a little bit, let's get a little better with that, fam. They did give up 1 fumble. Mac Jones, a hell of a play by, who was the defender? I think there was the Chris Rumpf guy. He didn't give up on a play. He got a sack. He got thrown, he slipped to the ground when he was going by the offensive lineman. Got back up, never gave up on a play. Got right back up, got to Mac Jones. Before Mac Jones could throw the ball, he got the back end of the ball. The ball came out. Demario Davis picked it up. So, good job by Chris Rump right there, not giving up on the play. You guys see what that does? When you don't give up on the play, you keep hustling, you will get rewarded. Just keep hustling until that whistle blows. And, you know, that's pretty much that, guys. Possession was pretty close. About a minute and 15 seconds different. Minute and 30-second different in possession of the ball. So you're looking at this and you're seeing that the Saints are right there in most of these games, guys. The Saints are right there. With the team that they have, with the roster construction that they have, with the coach being in his first year, with a new defensive coordinator, with not having that many playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, with not having a true number one receiver, you know what I'm saying? With an old and aging team that's trying to get younger in certain spots here or there as the time goes, the Saints are right there. And you saw the Saints also made a trade for another young receiver. Just some quick news right quick. You know, they made a trade for a receiver out of the Patriots. He's actually on injured reserve right now. So you may be looking at it like, what the hell? These dudes are trading for a receiver that's on the goddamn injured reserve. He's not playing right now. Jalen Polk. But guess what, guys? He's a young player. All right. We only gave up a 7th round pick. All right. Actually, no, hold up. Jalen Polk, hold up. We gave up a 6th round. So they gave us a 7th round pick. And they gave us Jalen Polk. And we just gave them a 6th round pick. So basically what it is just that we're buying low for a potential, you know, a potential high ceiling or decent ceiling player. You heard me? I believe that he was drafted. Where the hell was he drafted, bro? Jalen Polk. I need to figure out where Jalen Polk was actually drafted in the let me see. Jalen Polk, bro. Where were you drafted at, fam? You know what I'm saying? Were you a high draft pick, a low draft pick? Let me see right quick, bro. I gotta figure this out. Let's see. Jalen Polk. He got a weird name, bro. I gotta type this in right quick. I'm doing my research, fam. Stick with me. 23. Okay, so he's pretty young. He got drafted, in 2024, and he got drafted. Let me see. He got drafted in, was it the 2nd round? Yeah, 2nd round, 37 overall pick. So he's a 2nd round pick with high potential. You know what I'm saying? Career stats in college: 69 reception, 1,159 yards, 9 touchdowns. Okay, so he did pretty decent at Washington. He was out of Washington. I believe he was, one of the receivers with old boy, Michael Penix. He was one of Michael Penix's top receivers. So he has potential. So the Saints, they got him for a low asking price, a 6th round pick, and they got another pick for him in the 7th round pick, and they get the player. So when he gets healthy, we shall see. I think he's 6'1", decent frame. So it's just all about trying to add depth and add younger pieces. That's where the Saints are right now, guys. So listen, the Saints are in this little weird space. I know a lot of us aren't used to being here with having Drew Brees and, being a Saints fan. We got some pride. We're not used to losing as much as we have been losing these past few seasons. We're not that used to it anymore. Because when Drew Brees was in his prime and Sean Payton, we were doing more winning than losing. Okay? There was a stat where the Saints literally, I think 3 years ago, the Saints had won the most games in the league in the past decade. Now that I'm pretty sure that's changed by now, because of these past couple of seasons, but we have to understand where our team is, guys. Understand, set your expectations accordingly, like I've been saying. Understand where we are, guys. We're in a soft rebuild right now. But as long as the Saints stay competitive and they're competing and they're not giving up and they have a chance to win, and you have players playing good. You saw the guys that I said that are playing good in the game. If you see bright spots, Spencer Rattler, Alvin Kamara, you know what I'm saying? Juwan Johnson when he wants to catch the ball. You know, on the defense, DeMario Davis, Pete Werner, Jonas Sanker, Carl Granderson. You hear me? Like, when you see that there's some high points, take those high points. Take those good things, because that's what we're looking for. What players are playing good? We should be looking at the talent, seeing that, hey, I can see him in the future of the Saints. Hey, he's still playing good. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be focused on mainly, is how these individuals are playing, and is the team staying competitive, and is Kellen Moore pushing the right buttons and leading this team into a direction where in a few years maybe they can be competitive and potentially be a team that's, really out here trying to play for the playoffs. Can we see that in our future? That's what we need to really be taking a look at, guys. So that's pretty much all I got for this episode, man. Let me know if there's anything else that I missed, anything that you guys want to say, leave in the comment section below. This has been another Trey Talk Saints podcast, going over week 2 of the 2025 through 2026 seasons for the New Orleans Saints, baby. We go keep rocking. Seahawks week, we go see about them. Can we pull a one off? It's for the taking. I think the Saints can do it. They don't have the best coaching over there. They got Sam Darnold over there. He can be had. Hey, Saints, can we get a win? Can we get a win? 2 games where we've been really close. 2 games where Spencer Rattler has shown improvements. Can we find a way to get a win against the Seahawks? We shall see, and we'll be here next week. Until next time, y'all stay blessed. Be easy. Stay breezy, man. Oh, yeah, and before I end the video, I almost forgot, y'all. Blake Groupie. Hey, Groupie, stop missing field goals. Stop that. That's 2 weeks in a row you missed field goals, bro. We could have had more points, and you missing field goals. Stop it, fam. You showed out all offseason, all preseason, all training camp you were showing out. Now you can't make a field goal. You missed your only field goal of the game, fam. Stop missing field goals, bro. On a team like we have, we need all the help we can get, and we need your ass to be making field goals. All right? Stop it. But of course, you guys already know who that.